My beautiful friends, I felt called to come on and do a reading. I was picking up on some anxiety, and I haven't done a reading about how you think they're feeling and how they're actually feeling and doing in a little while. So I wanted to come on and do that because, interesting, I feel like there's a hair on me. Hang on. Side note, when it feels like something's tickling you, it can be symbolic, or like you have a hair on your face, it can be symbolic of the veil being very thin. So I'm really interested to see what comes out in this reading, because maybe your intuition is right. And I don't mean that, like, if you're feeling anxious and you feel like this person never thinks about you, that's not what I mean. But sometimes when I do these readings, I pick up on collectives that are very intuitive and know exactly what's going on. But I was feeling anxious. So maybe you feel like this person is feeling anxious about approaching you, or maybe you're feeling anxious that they don't think about you. So we're going to see. So the first part of this reading is going to be how you think they're feeling and doing. And then the second part will be how they're actually feeling and doing. Hang on. I stopped it on 111 because I felt something tickling my face again. Anyway, like I said, that's symbolic of the veil being thin. So let's see. So I've actually already shuffled the cards, but I want to cut them. So Spirit, we're looking at what this collective thinks is going on with their person and how they're feeling. So we have Girl with a Snake. So that's interesting. I have to remember, we have mirroring. So Girl with a Snake and mirroring, you could feel like this person is mirroring you right now. And if you are someone who feels like, you could feel like there's someone in their energy, you could feel like there's someone in their energy influencing this connection, but that's not really what I was hearing. I was hearing that you could have been dealing with someone where you felt used by them or you felt led on by them. Maybe there was some not so great behavior. I'm seeing the golden mirror. So you could think that they have some not so healthy tendencies, and you could feel like you reflected this back onto them. And if you're reflecting about this, I feel like you think they're reflecting about this. Hang on. My dogs were I don't know if you heard that bear. My dogs were just losing their minds for a minute, so I had to sit here for like 5 minutes and wait for them to stop barking. But let's get into it. So this part is going to be how you think they're feeling and doing. So let's have a look at what you think is going on here. What do you think is going on here? All right, so we do have separation on the bottom, so clearly you're in separation. We have poker face. This is already very interesting. So we have poker face, we have happily single, and the fact that these two came out together is very telling, because it feels to me like you could be feeling like this person is putting on an act right now, acting like they're not bothered, acting like they're not happy. But then we have heartbroken. So I feel like what you think is going on here is that they appear like they're partying and having a good time, having fun with friends, happily single. Maybe you see that online or something. But it looks like you do feel or hope that they are feeling lost without you or hurting without you, in separation, thinking about you, missing you, unsure about the future. Or maybe, you go back and forth between thinking they don't think about you and they're happily single, living their life, living it up. And then sometimes they think about you. I'm hearing that song, Sometimes All I Think About Is You. But I'm still hearing the first thing I was hearing, that you feel like they're wearing a mask or they're putting on an act, that they're unbothered. So let's get a few more. Or maybe you feel like this person is dealing with this breakup by partying and distracting themselves with friends. Let's get 2 more for what you think. Okay, so you do feel like they're interested in talking to you. Maybe you feel like they're waiting for you to reach out first. We do have healing hearts, so you do feel, or I keep hearing, I hope they're healing. And we have wedding rings. Soul connection. So it does feel like you feel like these readings mess my mouth up. It does look like you feel like this person feels a soul connection with you, and that they're healing. Maybe this person even mentioned to you that they saw commitment with you, or you could feel like you triggered their fear of commitment here. I'm going to get one more. One more for what you think is happening. What did I say? The golden mirror. So we have the golden mirror and higher level of commitment. So you could definitely feel like this person has a fear of commitment, and that they saw themselves committing to you, that they still think about this. But then we have the golden mirror. So that's what I was saying in the beginning. You could feel like this person is reflecting about some of their golden mirror behaviors. So, you know, maybe they were very self-interested or self-absorbed. There could have been some narcissistic tendencies, and I'm not saying this person is a narcissist. That's an overused label, and lots of people have narcissistic tendencies but aren't narcissists. And if you're dealing with an actual narcissist, I would suggest not watching it. But like I said, there's people who have narcissistic tendencies that aren't actually narcissists, and it comes from lack of self-awareness. It can also come from programmed behavior, like if they had a parent who had manipulative tendencies. And then we have cutting ties. So what's really interesting is that you think this person feels like they are reflecting about some of their own bad behavior. They are healing it. They're wearing a mask. Possibly, maybe you feel like they're trying to make you jealous by looking like they're living their best life. But it also says cutting ties. So you could feel like this person feels like you cut ties with them because of that golden mirror energy. Like maybe you said something, or maybe you put up boundaries. All right. So I'm going to put those back because we're going to get them for you in a little while. Let's see what's happening here. I'm still working on readings for when I'm away. I'm trying to get as many as I can done for you guys so that when I'm away, you have stuff to watch. But what am I going to do? I'm going to miss you guys. All right, so I'm going to get these next for how you think they're feeling. I've already shuffled them, but I want to cut the deck on camera. Nervous. So you think they're feeling nervous, worried, uneasy, tense, insecure, apprehensive, uncomfortable, hesitant. So we do have that taking a chance card, the poker face, and then interested in talking. So you could feel like they're nervous to approach you, especially if you put up boundaries. Remember the girl with the snake? It said boundaries on it, and it said enable. So maybe you feel like this person feels like you are no longer enabling their golden mirror tendencies, and you've put up boundaries. I think that you feel like you make this person nervous, maybe because you reflect back to them what they need to heal, and that can be triggering. So let's see how you feel this, how you think this person is doing and feeling right now. How do you think this person is doing and feeling? I'm also hearing some pretty specific dates. I'm hearing 1987, 1997, 1998, February 4th, April 2nd, March 31st. Is there a 31st? I don't know my months. I don't care. Abandoned, given up on. So you feel like this person feels like you gave up on them. And just because you put up boundaries doesn't mean you gave up on them. I don't even know if you put up boundaries, but this person feels like you did, I think, or that you're no longer entertaining that energy. Also, oh my gosh, this person could feel like you You could, hang on, I'm getting confused already. Oh my gosh, a sound just started playing. I don't give a fuck. So this, you could be feeling like this person feels like you don't give a fuck about them anymore. But I was thinking about that having friends, having fun, living in the moment, happily single. You could feel like that's what your person feels about you right now, because maybe you're not showing, maybe you don't look like you're deeply hurt and sad. You know, sometimes when we put up boundaries, well, not sometimes, it empowers us when we stand in that Queen of Swords energy. It empowers us. So you could be very empowered right now. But this person, this is how you think they're feeling. Like you gave up on them, like you left them behind, like they're unwanted, like you don't care, like you're doing things without them, that you don't desire them anymore. Bored, that you've lost interest in them, that you weren't being fulfilled in this connection, and that this is how you think they're feeling. And that they need to change if you're going to enter into a union or a commitment with them. And you could have said that. We do have enlightened here, wake-up calls. So you do feel like they've been given a wake-up call, possibly by you. But you feel like they are being enlightened, or they're having an epiphany. Having realizations, better understanding. This is how you think they feel about you, that you're happy, content, that you're having fun. I'm hearing a song called Happier. Who's that by? Marshmello? Is that who it is? I don't know. Interesting. I let my gratitude work as a magnet for all I wish to manifest. So you could have, I talk about it all the time in my readings, you know, the things we're willing to put up with is how we're telling the universe, this is what I think I deserve. So if you've told the universe or this person you deserve better, that's what you're calling in. So you do feel like this person is worried. All right. How do you think your person is doing and feeling? How do you think your person is doing and feeling? Disappointed. So you feel like they're disappointed. They're thinking about how they didn't meet your needs and expectations. Remember, this is how you think they're feeling. That they're not happy. That you're protecting your energy. Maybe you have up boundaries. That you're guarding your energy. Very interesting. This person, this is how you think they feel. Like they don't matter. You could know this person has kind of a victim mindset, especially like sometimes people with, I'm going to say it, sometimes people with narcissistic tendencies can have a victim mindset. It almost feels like you feel like this person is hitting rock bottom and that they think you're doing great. All right. I'm going to put these back in, and before I get them for you, I am going to shuffle all these decks. All right. Let's see how you think this person is feeling and doing. How do you think, oh, I want to cut the deck. How do you think they're feeling and doing? Broken mirror, right? So you feel like they've seen themselves, or they're looking at themselves, a lot of self-introspection, that they're shattered, that their reflection has shattered. All right. That's interesting because I was picking up on anxious energy. That might be your person. I was almost expecting to come on and get like a reading where you thought that they weren't even thinking about you and they had moved on. But it feels quite the opposite. I feel like maybe you're in a very empowered energy. So how do you think they're doing and feeling? How do you think they're doing and feeling? Realizations. So you do feel like they're having realizations, they're having an epiphany, they're being enlightened about some of their own, they're understanding something about their own behavior. We have one day, so you do feel like this person is thinking that one day you'll come back together again, once they heal maybe. Maybe you even said that to them. Like, call me when you've worked on yourself or whatever. Clarity. So you think they're gaining clarity right now. They're having an Ace of Swords moment. They're seeing the truth of the situation. You think that they're reminiscing about you. And that they feel this insane chemistry and spark with you. You could resonate as counterparts. How do you think this person is doing and feeling? You think that they're thinking about apologizing? Only you. Oh my gosh. This could be one of my very intuitive connections, connections, intuitive connection. And remember I said I was feeling tickling on my face, which is symbolic of the veil being very thin, which means you can see through that veil. I have a feeling you're very intuitive and you know exactly what's going on here. I'm going to be honest. And I'm hearing somebody saying, like, I thought I was just delusional. We have twin flame there. So you do think that, maybe you don't think that this person knows what twin flames is, but you think that they feel that type of connection with you. You could feel like they're watching you. Only you. So we have apology and new beginnings. So you feel like this person is wanting to apologize to you someday, one day, another time, and ask for forgiveness and try again. I just saw Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. The movie Hook could be symbolic. Is your name Tinkerbell? No, I'm just kidding. It would be cool if it was. Maybe you like Tinkerbell. Jack and Sally, I Miss You, Blink 182. I'm going to be really interested to see their cards because I have a feeling you're very intuitive. Let's see how you think they're doing and feeling. Two more. How do you think they're doing and feeling? So that they're apprehensive about approaching you. Queen of Swords, the boundaries. That's what I was hearing. That they're fearful that you'd reject them if they come back in the same energy. That they're feeling quite hollow without you. Maybe you feel like they're realizing they're a bit shallow or self-absorbed, and that they do feel an energetic pull to you. Maybe you know that this person has addiction problems. This is driving me crazy. All right. That's that deck. I wanted to use a few different decks so that we could get a good idea of what you think is going on here. Let's just get this one. I didn't shuffle this one, so I have to shuffle it. I wasn't planning on getting it. So how do you think this person is doing and feeling? How do you think this person is doing and feeling? Waiting, hoping to hear from you. So you do feel like maybe you were a chaser. Maybe you always reached out in the past, and maybe you're not. So you feel like this person is hoping that they'll hear from you. The runner. So you feel like, especially if you were a chaser. Sorry, I just got a text message. Especially if you were a chaser, you could definitely be feeling like this runner is waiting to hear from you. That's interesting. You could feel like they're watching you again. So how do you think they're doing? How do you think they're doing? And feeling, I should say. Didn't I say dark night of the soul? That came out. Hitting rock bottom. So you feel like they're... My phone keeps playing this sound clip. I don't give a fuck. So maybe you feel like this person... It's not that you think they don't give a fuck about you. It's quite the opposite. So you could feel like there's outside influences here. Hang on, let me just get all the cards. All right, so you feel like you've inspired this person to do better, to be better, is what I'm hearing. Even if that was by seeing through them or calling them out or putting up boundaries. Maybe even if you're a divine feminine and you're healing, you could be feeling like, we have power couple. So you could be feeling like you're elevating together, or that's what you hope is happening or you think is happening, is that they are healing and having realizations and reflecting just like you are with the mirror, right? So you feel like they're mirroring your energy. You're feeling like this person feels like you inspire them to be better, even if that was like pointing out some bad behavior. Power couple. So this person could have even mentioned that they saw you being a power couple someday, but it also says elevating together. So it feels like you think they're elevating too. Maybe you feel like I'm going to be honest, I feel like you're doing a lot of work on yourself. I feel like you've been through a dark night of the soul. You're working on healing, you're reflecting, putting up boundaries, learning not to chase. And you could hear, like me and a couple of other readers talk about how they feel that pull on the red thread. So you could feel like you're pulling them up by the red thread. You feel like this person is envisioning a future with you, and we got that with the 2 commitment cards. So you feel like they still see a future with you, that they feel this insane chemistry with you, again, lots of sexual chemistry. Dark night of the soul. So you feel like this person is going through a dark night of the soul and releasing their ego, and that's where those tendencies come from. They come from ego. Yeah, we have walking away for now. So you feel like this person is like walking away for now. It's not permanent. Also, you could feel like they feel like you're walking away for now because maybe you said that. We do have gossip, outside influence. So for how you think this person is doing, feeling, you could think that, remember I mentioned maybe you feel like there's someone in their energy whispering in their ear, that there's still some outside influence here. It says gossip though. Or that they're seeing something online that's influencing them. Like you, standing in your power. All right, now we're going to get tarot. Oh my gosh, I'm going to kill this thing. All right, I really wanted to use this Daydream tarot deck that I got and used the other day. I love it so much, but I do need to shuffle it. So we have the 5 of Wands, blockages, inner conflict. So let's cut the deck. This is how you think they're feeling and doing. 7 of Pentacles. So you do feel like this person, maybe you think they're reflecting on how they neglected this connection and didn't invest in it. It does feel like you feel like this person still wants to invest in this connection and that they're waiting to take action. We have the 7 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. So that's kind of the energy of waiting to take action. So you feel like this person is waiting for the right time. And here we have the 7 of Wands, boundaries. So it's really, Mr. Crow's outside. It's really 4 of Swords. You feel like this person is gaining clarity, going through an awakening. Maybe you feel like they're not feeling well. But there's definitely this energy that they're waiting to come towards you because of boundaries. All right, so let's see how you think this person is doing. How do you think this person is doing right now? How do you think this person is doing right now? I have to put these back. Look at how many came out. Well, let's just look at them. Two of Swords. So you feel like Two of Swords, yes, it's a stuck and stagnant energy, but it's also a call to go within. So you feel like this person is being called to go within and maybe not take any action towards you right now. We do have the Ace of Pentacles, the Magician, the Nine of Pentacles. So you could feel like this person feels like you're going through a glow up. This is really too many cards. I'm going to talk about them though. Okay, that's very telling. So this is how you think they're doing, right? You think that they're working on their stability, that they're working on their elements, that they do want to communicate with you, that they're going, like they're doing some soul searching here with the Nine of Pentacles. You know, self-improvement. Then what's interesting is we do have the Three of Wands. That's the one that came out. The rest came out in a clump. This is about envisioning a future. This is about, so you think that this person is thinking about the future and going through growth right now. This looks like, to me, judging on the other cards we got, that this, you think that this person is feeling like there was a lot of conflict here, a lot of blockages, so you walked away to focus on yourself. So let's put these back in and see if they come out again. I'm just gonna cut the deck. The Emperor. So you could feel like they're feeling called to step into their Emperor energy and stop being stubborn. This could have been a very stubborn, ego-driven person. Aries energy. Maybe you think they're sulking, I don't know. To me, this picture depicts like a distorted masculine. Someone who always wants to be right, someone who's full of ego, very stubborn. So how do you think this person is doing? The Three of Wands was the only one that came out alone. How do you think this person is doing? How do you think this person is doing? You could feel like they're watching you online. The Tower, divine intervention. Like there's chaos, dark night of the soul, remember? So you feel like right now their foundation is being shaken, that they're being divinely guided, that they're having revelations about themselves, is what I'm hearing, and that they're going through growth and progress. Let's do another one. How do you think they're doing? One more. Ace of Swords, the Devil, came out together, and Hanged Man. It's really matching up with all the oracle decks I got. You feel like this person is surrendering to the changes they need to make. You feel like this person is having a new perspective about their own behavior. Specifically, possibly about toxic things. Anxiety. So you feel like this person does have a lot of anxiety. And you know what? When someone who's self-unaware, which the Devil is in the upright, that's someone who's self-unaware about their own shadows, or their own toxic traits. When someone has a realization about their shadows, it can be, we can feel a lot of shame and we can feel bad about, you know, the things that we did to people. When I started looking at my shadows, I would even like think about, you know, like 10 years ago when I treated someone from a place of shadow, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. You feel a lot of shame. That's why so many people don't want to look at their shadows, because it brings up shame. But when we look at our shadows, it actually empowers us and heals us. Our shadows shower. Are you showering? Get clean. It's fine. Our shadows is where our light lives. And so many people like use substances to avoid their shadows. Hello, me, I did. So right now you feel like this person is feeling a lot of anxiety because they're having a realization, an epiphany about their own toxic behaviors or unhealthy attachments or unhealthy patterns or toxic traits, addictions. Capricorn energy. Really matches. All right, so you feel like this person is finally gaining new perspectives. Why did I say finally? Maybe you tried to get this person to see, but in the end you had to walk away, letting go for now. You could have even said to them, I'm letting go for now. Also, you could feel like this person is having realizations about childhood wounding. Not that the Ace of Swords is about that, but look at the image of the child on here. So toxic traits they learned in childhood or from their parents, I did mention it. How do you think this person is feeling towards you? How do you think this person is feeling towards you? The Fool. 10 of Cups. There's definitely something here where you think this person sees you as their happily ever after. We have the 7 of Cups in reverse. So you feel like this person, when it comes to you, you feel like they have clarity here. 7 of Cups in reverse. And the Fool. How do you think they feel about you? You could think that they're feeling like you have clarity about them now and their unhealed things, and that you feel like they feel like you're taking a leap in a different direction away from them. There goes my throat. So I definitely feel like you feel like this person feels, oh my gosh, that you're not going to communicate with them, or that you're not communicating with them. It also looks like you think they're going to come towards you with clarity and awareness that, you know, you're the one, and take a leap of faith towards you. How do you, 10 of Cups on the bottom. How do you think this person is feeling about you? 8 of Cups, like you've walked away. Or that they have regret for walking away. That you're done accepting less than you deserve. I just want to get a few more before we move on to them. I'm going to get really confused here. How do you think this person thinks you feel about them? That's what I want to see. How do you think they feel, you feel about them? Okay. So you think that they feel, oh my gosh. Why does this hurt my brain? It's like that Friends episode. They don't know that we know that they know that we know they know we know. For how you think this person interprets your feelings, we have the Hierophant. So you think that this person feels like you feel a soul contract with them too, or that you want a higher level of commitment with them. We also have the Ace of Cups, so they do think that you love them and that you see a future with them, or that's what they think you feel. But then we have the 2 of Wands, which is very telling to me, because it shows, you know, I always say, I don't hear many readers talk about the 2 of Wands in this way, but it's always how I see the 2 of Wands. Usually you see someone holding the world in their hands. And to me, the 2 of Wands is very symbolic of looking at the patterns that keep us stuck from moving forward into the 3 of Wands, which is growth and progression, right? It can also be fear of leaving comfort zone, but to me, it's about the patterns that keep us stuck from moving forward. And I'm hearing like, that's how this person thinks you feel about them. That if you were to commit and have a new beginning, that, you know, they would need to look at the patterns that keep them stuck from moving forward. All right. So I'm going to pause this And I'm going to shuffle everything and I'll be right back. All right, so I've shuffled all the decks and I already cut them. I'm going to cut them again on camera, but I just want to show you what ended up on the bottom of their deck. This will be easier for me to keep my mouth straight, because I don't have to do, this is how you feel, they think you feel, blah, blah, blah. So Sword in the Rose, clarity and truth, revelations. So this is how this person is actually doing. So they're having revelations about themselves. They're seeing the truth about themselves. That's what I saw with that broken mirror. We do have twin flame coming out, and we have separation. So I'm going to cut the deck and we're going to shuffle. That doesn't feel right. Hang on. Watching, looking, perception. And I talk about this sometimes, like, especially when we talk about gaslighting. Someone who can only see their own perception and only sees their truth has a hard time seeing, like, some people just don't see other people's perspectives. And I see it all the time in my comment section. And when somebody is so in their truth and their own perception, they can actually end up, not intentionally, gaslighting other people because they're so focused on their own perception. Now, this card is interesting to me because these glasses have been taken off a face, which makes me think that this person is having a different perception about this. It's also showing me that they're watching you. It's definitely showing me that they're watching you. We have not today. Boundaries and hurt, avoiding conversation, not dealing, still upset. So there are boundaries here, and this person could feel like you're still upset with them. It could also be that this person has more reflecting and healing to do, especially, like, listen, if they're going through a dark night of the soul, that's the last time, or not the last time. That's not the time that you want to be reaching out to people. Like, I didn't even reach out to my friends when I was going through a dark night of the soul. I didn't even want to leave my room. That's the last time you want to be picking up your phone to talk to someone when you're going, like, when you're hitting rock bottom, especially if this person, like, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but I feel like maybe this person has you on a pedestal and wants to impress you. And think about it. If they are really going through a dark night of the soul, if they are really releasing their ego and seeing everything their ego caused them to do, they'd be feeling a lot of shame. And if they want to impress you, it takes time to get over that shame and forgive themselves before they can ask you for forgiveness. And I always say, the people who have a hard time apologizing, it's that they're having a hard time forgiving themselves, so they stay in denial. Because to apologize would be to have to admit to themselves and feel that shame. Does that make sense? So let's see what's going on with your person. My throat. Okay, so we do have, that was on the bottom of the deck after I first shuffled for you. Interested in talking. But remember, we have not today. And that's what, like, people have this black and white mindset. If they wanted to, they would. And I don't blame you. I blame social media. I blame, like, that black and white. If they wanted to, they would. And I always say, haven't you ever had a time in your life where you wanted to do something but you didn't? You know, like, I don't know why I just heard giving up junk food or wanting to start working out, or that idea of if they wanted to, they would. Humans are complicated. There's so many other factors. So even if this person wants to talk to you, I've already explained it. They're interested in talking to you. But if your last words were you putting up boundaries, or, you know, harsh words spoken between you, or this person hurt you, or they're going through a dark night of the soul, and again, I'm not making excuses for this person. That's not what this is about. But with all of those factors, it doesn't matter if they wanted to, they would, because that's so much to think about when you're trying to reach out to someone. Does that make sense? Especially if they're full of shame. Mr. Crow is confirming this. The name Damien might be symbolic. I was hearing other names this morning. I forgot to write them down. I was hearing Delia or Dahlia, Robert, Bobby, James. I don't know. This is good. This is good. So, your person has runner, fear of intimacy, fear of commitment, actions from a place of ego, right? They're reflecting about this. These came out, these three, very telling. So right now your person is reflecting. And think about it. If they feel like this because they're seeing their ego, they're staring at themselves in the mirror thinking, I've done some pretty things. They're feeling shame. It breaks you down. So they're mirroring, they're reflecting, self-reflection, introspection on their inner wounds. And it's wounds and programming and the way they were raised that makes them run. They don't run because they're a jerk. You know, I talked about in a reading the other day. Would you say, if you were a chaser, if you were anxious attachment, I'm sure you've been hard on yourself, but you wouldn't, I don't see people villainizing anxious attachment people, but we villainize people with avoidant tendencies, and it's not the runner's fault, okay? It was programmed into them as a child. Like maybe they had a parent that was a runner or emotionally avoidant, and they were never taught how to regulate their emotions or deal with conflict. And even if that's a really good example, actually, because I grew up in a household with avoidant parents. I grew up in a household where we never talked about feelings. If there was conflict, it was silent treatment, and then we'll just pretend everything's fine in a few days and not talk about it ever. We're not allowed to talk about stuff in my family. And when I started to heal and I wanted to try and talk to them, no, we don't talk about our feelings. Now, I didn't grow up to be a runner. Yes, I have some avoidant tendencies sometimes, but I didn't grow up to be a runner. It can go one or two ways. Either you grow up to be a runner or an avoidant. I view my imperfections with grace and love, and that's what your person needs to do right now, because I feel like your person is feeling a lot of shame when they should be viewing their imperfections with grace and love, kindness and forgiveness. And again, social media villainizes this kind of stuff. Anyway, it can go one or two ways. Either if you have avoidant parents, you could grow up to be an avoidant. Or what happened to me was I grew up as being anxious attachment, because that love was always being taken from me or held at an arm's length for me. So I overcompensated by becoming anxiously attached to things because I was afraid they were going to leave. Also, if somebody has an overly attached parent, they could grow up to be overly attached. Programming, this is what I'm talking about. It's programmed into us. Or someone with an overly attached parent could grow up to be an avoidant because they felt smothered as a child. And I don't think we should be villainizing any of it. But we have cutting out, separation, stop the pattern. So right now this person is reflecting on it. This person could have given you the silent treatment, which again, I talk about that. In my family, that's what we did in my family. Silent treatment for punishment. And that's why the silent treatment triggers me so much. But if this person, if that's how they were taught to deal with their emotions, it was learned behavior, and it doesn't make it okay. But sometimes people giving the silent treatment don't They can't comprehend what it's doing to the person on the other end of the silent treatment. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for your person. I talk about these, I'm talking about not villainizing anxiously attached people either, because anxiously attached people are labeled as desperate or needy or clingy or overbearing. Did I mention desperate? Or pathetic. And that's the thing that upsets me. I'm on my soapbox. That's the thing that upsets me, that it's all being villainized on social media, because it happens to us when we're children. But I also believe it's our own responsibility to see our patterns, if we can, and heal them, and work on being more securely attached. But some people don't want to heal. Some people are lacking self-awareness. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm off my soapbox. But right now this person is, maybe they're reflecting about how they run from people. Maybe when there's conflict, they cut people off. That's another thing that I learned from my parents. If there's conflict, cut that person off, never talk to them again. And when I realized that about myself, I then started thinking about all the people that I cut off in my life out of fear, out of ego, out of not wanting to deal with conflict. And if this truly is a counterpart connection and there's mirroring, some of the things that this person does, you may be able to resonate with in some way. Maybe you don't do it to people, but maybe you avoid other things. Anyway. But right now this person is reflecting on all of this. And I don't know. I think that I know what that feels like, to reflect on your shadows. It's kind of like when I talk to empaths or people pleasers about how they're enabling people to treat them badly because they're not putting up boundaries. Guilty. Lesson that I had to learn. And we have camera, so this person is reminiscing about you. Learning from the past. So they're learning from their past things here. I almost said mistakes, but in my house, I have these house rules downstairs on the wall, and it says, in this house, we forgive each other, we say we're sorry, we're allowed to make mistakes. Perception. Some people's perception is just so hyper-focused on their own perception, they don't understand other people have other perceptions. But they're reminiscing about you, wanting to make new memories with you. Let's keep going. Oh my gosh. I just got all woo. All right, let's get a few more for your person. Show me their person's energy. Yes. Yes. Tampa could be symbolic. Sword and Rose, clarity and truth, revelations, determination, honor and protection. So because maybe you honored and protected your energy and put up boundaries, because what we're willing to accept is how we tell other people how to treat us, they're having these revelations about themselves. This is like Ace of Swords to me. Let's get one more. Twin flame. I don't know why I'm laughing. It came out on your side, coming out on their side. So they do feel this twin flame connection. And guess what? Anybody who's like, I'm sick of people making the twin flame seem like a fairy tale and like it's this romantic whatever. It's not. It's triggering. It's lonely. It's hard. It's challenging. People say, I'm sick of it sounding like a fairy tale. Where are you hearing that it's like a fairy tale? And I always say this, show me a fairy tale where there's not soul growth and there's not blockages and other people getting in the way and separation and arguments and apologies and people coming together at the end. Anyway. And on the bottom, conditioning, programming. I've talked about it. Replaying events in their head. Epiphany. You know, you thought they were going through a tower moment, right? They are. Sudden change, sudden epiphany, transformation. They're having an epiphany about their own outdated thinking. And that, if they wanted to, they would. If love was meant to be, it would be perfect. There wouldn't be any obstacles. That's outdated thinking. Anyway, I'm done. Well, I'm done until we get to the next deck. All right, what deck did I use next? This one. So on the bottom of this deck, we have nervous, which is what was on the bottom of your deck, remember? So this person, nervous, worried, uneasy, tense, insecure, apprehensive, uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to see yourself. It's very uncomfortable to see yourself. 111 on the timer as I said that. So let's see what your person is thinking about or how they're feeling. How is your person feeling? Sad, overwhelmed, grateful for the lessons they're learning. They're grateful that they're finally seeing this about themselves. Overwhelmed, emotional pressure, stress, burden suddenly hit hard, hit rock bottom. A lot to take on, unable to cope. And we have sad, low, unhappy, melancholy, down, troubled, disappointment, upset, let down. Again, that's how it feels when you start. When I started therapy, my therapist was like, let's open all your suitcases that you carry around, like your baggage. And I'm like, can't we just open one at a time? We opened up all the baggage, and it is quite troubling to see and acknowledge how maybe you haven't been the best to other people because of your own wounding. Hurt people hurt people. And that, to me, like, I'm so passionate about the counterpart journey because it's meant to, like, rip us open and tear us down so that we can heal all of those things. And all of these things lay dormant until my activation. So I just kind of ignored them, or they weren't triggered. And I feel blessed by the lessons I've learned about myself and the healing I've done. And I feel like your person is feeling blessed, although they feel sad and like they've let themselves down, they've let others down, they've let you down. It's dark night of the soul energy. It's almost like you spend your whole life kind of feeling like you're this person, and then all of a sudden you find out I'm not that person at all. They're feeling very blue. How is this person feeling? Shocked. Shocked. Shocked, surprised, unexpected, taken aback, out of the blue. What? It's jarring. It is. It's jarring. We have ashamed. Again, if this person is feeling ashamed and overwhelmed and sad and jarred and shocked, imagine them picking up the phone and being like, do you want to have a new beginning? Like, they need some time to work through this and realize their trauma doesn't define them, just like your trauma does not define you. Our shadows don't define us. They don't make us bad people. They're feeling very uncomfortable right now. It says bullied. Like maybe they were, that's one thing I tell my kids, like, and you see it in movies all the time. Like, I'm teaching my kids all of this stuff. And then when they, not about spirituality, that's their own choice, but about like healing and things like that. And you see it in movies, right? Like when there's a bully, they'll do like a story of the bully, and then the bully's mean to everybody else because it's programmed into them. They go home and they're bullied by one of their parents, and they're belittled by one of their parents and criticized by one of their parents. So if this person had a parental figure who criticized them, who, you know, belittled them, that was nasty to them, that kind of programming, again, we can undercompensate or overcompensate. That would make it so that if you told this person, like, what you did hurt me, or I feel like you're gaslighting me, they would have felt like you were highly criticizing them, and their armor, their ego would have come out to protect them. Or this could have been someone who always criticized you because as a child they were criticized. And unfortunately, when someone, I always say, if you're criticizing someone or judging someone, you need to turn that finger around. Because if this person criticizes other people, it shows that inside they're very highly critical of themselves. What is happening to me? Let's keep going. Oh my goodness. How is this person feeling? We could also ask how they're feeling about you. Oh, this person could have felt like as a child, this person could have been emotionally. And you know what? It's programmed into us. Like, I don't know about this day and age, but in my day and age, it was programmed into us that emotional was not abuse. Or well, I shouldn't be saying that. And sometimes you guys wonder why I don't say it. It's because YouTube can flag the weirdest things, even though I'm talking about healing. But it was programmed to me. You know what I always say, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. It all hurts. And it was programmed into me. That's not actual. It is. Anyway. Silent treatment. It's funny because I asked how this is what they're feeling shame for. This is what they're feeling sad for. The silent treatment, aggressive outbursts. And when somebody has an aggressive outburst, it's coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of some wound within them is being ripped open. And again, you get the, wah, trying to defend themselves. Stressed, pressured, burdened, tensed, bothered, worried, agitated, troubled, weighed down. Again, maybe you're the type of person who knows how to ask for help when you're feeling like that. But when I feel like that, I just can't see how this person would be able to pick up the phone right now and reach out to you when they're feeling like this. They could have hidden things from you. They could have been deceitful. They could have told you lies. They're feeling a lot of shame over their own behavior right now. And they could have accused you of doing those things. They could have thought you were being sneaky, or they could have thought that you were, projection. All right, restricted. So they feel like right now they're restricted, like they can't come towards you because maybe there's boundaries or you blocked them, right? Or that you've lost interest in them. All right, next deck. September 24th could be symbolic. We have emotional storm. So this person is unstable right now. Look at them. Dark night of the soul. It's affecting them. Longing. So they're longing for you. But again, look at them. And if they want to impress you, especially if you've, told them, come in right or don't come at all or whatever. And I'm not, please have your boundaries. It's important. Hang on. I am not faulting you for having boundaries. I didn't know what a boundary was until I was 35, and I still struggle with them. But this, I always talk about it. It can inspire change. Anyway. So if this person is feeling like this, imagine them, I can't imagine them picking up the phone. Because if they can't even pick themselves up off the floor, how could they give you anything stable right now? How would they have the confidence to pick up that phone? All right. How is this person feeling about themselves, about this connection? So we do have lusting sexual energy. I can't show you the card because there's a half naked lady on it. And YouTube doesn't like nakedness on tarot cards, but double standards. Girls in bikinis can do videos and things like that. Make that make sense. Piece of paper with a woman with a bra on it. Anyway, I'm sorry, YouTube lords. We have memories. That came up for how you think they're feeling. Reminiscing, dwelling, bittersweet symphony could be symbolic. We have one day. So it's not never. It's not never again. It's one day. And that's what we saw with that. They want to talk to you, but they're still upset. They're still dealing with this. And all of these cards are black and white. So maybe this person is maybe they had really black and white thinking. Maybe you brought color to their life. Maybe they like black and white photography. I don't know. Black and white movies. How is this person doing, thinking, feeling? They definitely they're feeling unbalanced right now. Confessions, unveiling, coming clean messages. So they do think about messaging you. But they feel like if they do it right now, it's coming from a clouded judgment. Like they don't have enough clarity to reach out right now. Yes, they're starting to get clarity. But they think about messaging you. But they resist it. We have intimacy. So they do feel, they had fear of intimacy with the runner. And that's how they feel about you. They feel a lot of intimacy towards you. We have resistance. So it says timid. So they're timid about approaching you. They watch you from afar is what I'm hearing because they're afraid you're going to reject them. They're in some heavy ass energy. I'm sending your person love and light. I'm sending them an energetic hug or a puppy or something. Irrational fear. Do you know where irrational fears come from? Fragmentation of the soul and trauma. Significant trauma from past. I can give you an example from myself. I don't want to use anybody else as an example because that's not my place. That's why I use myself as an example. I had an irrational fear about people being loud because of the household I grew up in. I was always on high alert. So, and I've spoken about this before. So in my house, people could be like, I was triggered by any kind of loud coming from a person because it would rip open this wound and I would feel like I was in my house again and people were screaming and I was afraid for what was going to happen to me. So there was one day, it was right before it was after I started therapy. I was sitting up here in my room. It's before I started doing tarot. And I could hear my kids with their dad. and I could hear them all being really loud, and I immediately, like, I was a mess. I started crying. I felt scared. They were having fun. They were having fun. Irrational fear. My kids laughing loudly or squealing loudly. Now you hear me all the time. I don't care. They're having fun as long as they're not killing each other. But it used to give me this irrational fear. Anyway, I don't know. All of these like intense healing downloads are coming through on your person's side. So I feel like your person is having a lot of realizations about their own trauma. Maybe they're like looking at healing content. Because again, think about someone who's labeled as an avoidant, as a runner, stumbling upon Instagram where people are villainizing them. Anyway, that's why I do watch content that's made by avoidants who have healed, and they try and educate people about avoidants aren't demons, they're not monsters, they're not bad people. And they explain what's actually going on within them. It's not that they don't want to give you consistency. It's not that they don't want to be close with you. There's so many other things going on. Anyway. Again, this person needs some peace and love sent their way. It doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone. Don't stop this. You don't want to stop this from happening. Let them have their dark night of the soul. But you can energetically send them peace and love. Let's get a few more. Hoping that they can be more stable. Hoping that they can build a stronger foundation. Be more confident. It's giving me Emperor energy. Hoping. So they're still hoping that they can heal and become better and become a more stable person and build something stable with you when the time is right. That they can become someone who's loyal. I feel like this is how they feel about you. That you're very loyal, trusting, reliable. We have heart song, telepathy, inner knowing. So they do feel an intuitive bond with you. And they're concealing this. Look, obscurity. All right, next deck. What's underneath foundation? Spying. That's funny. Spying, watching you. And anybody who's watching you, not in secret and not hitting like or anything like that, they're not in a confident energy. Have you ever done that? Have you ever accidentally, like you've been creeping on somebody and you accidentally like hit the like button? Unlike. So on the bottom we have the dance. The momentum is building. And this isn't about physically dancing, although maybe you have a memory. This is about the energetic dance between two souls, twin flames. The healing dance, okay? It's not about anything that happens in the 3D. I still love you, coming clean. All right, blocked throat chakra. So let's get a card. This feels like a dream. I don't think so. I've already talked about it. But again, fairy tale. Show me a fairy tale that's not full of this kind of stuff, right? Changes. In any romantic comedy, it's full, like if they got together, like let's say a fairy tale was perfect. If they got together 5 minutes into the movie and lived happily ever after and everything was perfect, the movie would only be 5 minutes. That would be a short. There's a reason romantic comedies are 1.5 hours to 2 hours long. I don't know why, but The Wedding Planner is coming to my mind. Anyway, you know, with Jennifer Lopez, Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer, Matthew, changes, evolving to make things better, your person. And that starts in the cocoon, dark night of the soul, turning into goo. All right, let's get a few cards for your person. Show me what this person is going through right now. Repairing, doing the dance, wanting to make amends. Dark night of the soul. I had to say it before it cut me off. Dark night of the soul. The dance. So you remember when I was in your energy and I said, I feel like you believe that you're pulling this person up by the red thread. You are. The dance. The feminine leads the way. I didn't make the rules. We have wanting to make amends here, wanting to repair things. Someday, one day, another time, right? Because dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is no joke. I spent my dark night of the soul, and it can last a while. I spent most of my dark night of the soul in my room, on my bathroom floor, crying, questioning everything. It's triggering. And they feel this chemistry with you that you are intuitive, my friend. The veil is thin for you. Very intuitive. No, you're not delusional. Stop saying that. Stop putting yourself down. You know, I've heard people say that being delusional is the key to law of attraction or law of assumption. But there's also a very negative mind, like a negative label that comes with that delusional. So anytime someone says like, I'm just here to feed my delusions, it's like, stop saying that. You're not delusional. You're highly fucking intuitive. All right. Interesting. Divine feminine. Which divine feminine energy is this person working on their divine feminine energy is about them. I don't like when they gender cards. This says tuned in woman. I don't like that. And I always talk about how it doesn't matter what gender you are. It's the energy that you're embodying the most of, or your overarching energy or whatever. So there's lots of men who are divine feminines, and there's lots of women who are divine masculines. And I'm not leaving out my non-binary friends. But right now, your person is working on their divine feminine energy, which is, if someone doesn't have divine feminine energy or they're in wounded feminine energy, even if your person is a masculine, that makes them, they can seem manipulative, going around in circles and circles and cycles and cycles. That's why I try and teach you guys about stepping out of patterns and cycles, because wounded feminines will keep going around and around and around in circles. Manipulation, coldness. What else? Wounded feminine. Lack of self-confidence, lack of like nurturing energy, lack of warmth. So the fact that this came out for your person, I absolutely love, because it looks like they're learning how to be more compassionate and show more empathy and listen to their intuition and not go around in circles being stuck in patterns. I like it. Show me more about this person. Can I confirm that? Oh, good. That's good. This person wants to reunite with you, coming back together. So this came out, toxic masculine, and that's why I immediately said, can we please confirm that? Oh, listen, this is good. What was I just talking about? Toxic feminine energy. Your person clearing and cleansing toxic masculine and toxic feminine energy. So wounded masculine energy is, I need to be right. I'm going to fight and fight and fight and prove my point. And it's only my way. I'm seeing this meme of there can only be one. That's what it is. There can only be one winner. It's someone who, I should just get my book out, but I'm not going to. I think I can remember. Toxic masculine energy, like thinking that work is the most important thing or material things are the most important things. Maybe addictions. I've already talked about wounded feminine energy, manipulation, trying to manipulate the energy, trying to catch people out, to cause arguments, to create conflict. This is what they're purging, purging negative energy. So they're releasing toxic masculine traits, toxic feminine traits, stepping into more divine feminine traits. Divine masculine hasn't, yes, clearing, purging negativity, manipulation. So your person could have appeared very manipulative. And this is why people, like, you'll see cards that say twin flames are meant to change the world. Because think of all the black and white thinking there is out there about someone who's manipulative. Anyway. All right, one more. So this person is going through an awakening. This connection is special. 555 on the timer as I said that. So they're making positive changes, releasing resistance. So they're no longer resisting. What is wrong with me? They're no longer resisting their own awakening. July 7th could be symbolic. The awakening to the fact that this connection is special. You could have a memory in the rain. Surrendering to the flow. And again, the divine feminine leads the way. The divine feminine needs to surrender first. Future plans, thinking about the future, thinking about you, thinking about what they want long term. All right, let's get tarot. But you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. You're very intuitive. So, I already shuffled this, so we're going to cut it. We have the Ten of Swords. Dark Night of the Soul hitting rock bottom. I said hitting rock bottom so many times. They're hitting rock bottom. And you know what? When you hit rock bottom, that's when the healing starts. They have 10-10 here. 10 of Cups. To me, that's about doing the inner healing in this context. All right. I love this Ten of Swords because it doesn't show somebody with swords stuck in them. It shows someone who's, looking out to the horizon, knowing that things need to be better. All right, your person. Let's see their energy. One card at a time, please, Spirit, not big clumps. Show me their person's energy. Wow. Wow. You know exactly what's going on here. Hanged Man energy. That was on the bottom when I asked what you think they're going through. So they're surrendering to new perspectives, to healing, to enlightenment. And that means sacrificing being with you right now. That's what this card is about in love. It's about sacrificing love for new perspectives. It's like taking a break so that there can be healing. I always say it's Spirit picking them up and put it like, you cannot play with this person anymore. You go to your corner. But look at this. I should have said it with the Ten of Swords. That person looking out onto the horizon, they had 8 swords around them and they were holding 2 swords. And remember I said the Two of Swords is a call to go within and listen to your intuition. So I was going to mention that because to me, the 8 of Swords is like the trauma that keeps you stuck. It's self-imposed prison. You feel like you're stuck because of your trauma, but in reality, you can heal it. So they do have the 8 of Swords right now. Another card that speaks of the Dark Night of the Soul to me. So right now your person, definitely Dark Night of the Soul. It's all over this reading. They had like the Tower card, they had the Ten of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Dark Night of the Soul card. So they're in their head right now, releasing limiting beliefs or programmed beliefs I'm hearing, the trauma that keeps them stuck. I just realized I've been... I feel like I've been yelling at you for like an hour. I'm sorry. I'm not yelling. I swear I'm not yelling. That's my passion coming out. But as I had to restart this, because I only record 10 minutes at a time, I like took a breath and I'm like, I realized I was like yelling at you. I'm so sorry. But I'm just passionate. It's interesting because that Ten of Swords had 8 swords on either side, and it was holding 2 swords. Then we have the Eight of Swords. So this person going within to look at the things that keep them stuck, their trauma, limiting beliefs, that Ten of Swords. Now we have the Eight of Swords. And also somebody said, I have ADHD. Somebody said that they're a reader, but they don't trust their intuition. I used to not do that. I used to have these downloads and I wouldn't say anything. So whatever comes to your mind intuitively, start giving it power. Start giving it your voice. It's not coming to you for no reason, okay? So this card now has the same, it's almost like that little kid grown up, looking out to the horizon, things feeling very dark. They can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But they have 2 swords behind them. So I feel like this person has already started their inner work, their inner reflection. And then they have 6 swords on each side, which means they're moving into calmer waters. And the only reason I'm saying they're doing the inner work that's going to move them into calmer waters. And then we have the 6 of Swords. How magical is that? So think back to what I said about the 10 of Swords. The kid with the 2 swords, 8 swords, 4 on each side. Now we have the 8 of Swords. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. We have the 8 of Swords, 6 swords on each side, 2 behind them. Then we have this one. Those 2 swords aren't there anymore. And we have the 6 of Swords. And now embracing those 2 swords. They're embracing those 2 swords. And a lot of people feel like doing that inner work or going within or facing their shadows or their trauma. Again, it brings up a lot of shame. This one, they're embracing it. They're embracing going within. And they're moving out of that 8 of Swords energy. So I'm seeing a progression in your person's energy from 10 of Swords to 8 of Swords to a low battery to 6 of Swords. They are moving into calmer waters. We have the Ace of Swords, and that's what you thought. So they are having an epiphany, and I'll say it again, possibly about their childhood wounding. And it's not about blaming our parents. I used to blame my parents. I did. And I don't bring them up to blame them. It's not about blaming our parents, but we can heal this, even without ever talking to our parents. Ace of Swords. So they're having a breakthrough here. They're having an epiphany. And even better, the Wheel of Fortune. Which means they're having an epiphany about some of their own patterns and cycles, and they're making adjustments. Amazing. 1986 could be symbolic. August 6th, August 1st, August 10th. June 8th, June 1st, June 10th. January 8th, January 6th, January 10th. October 1st, October 8th, October 6th. I have no idea. I don't usually get dates off of tarot, but I felt called to get that. Hanged Man energy. All right. Let's see. I want to see how they're feeling about themselves. 222 here in the afternoon. How are they feeling about themselves? How are they feeling about themselves? Not very good. Remember how I went on that, remember how I went on that thing? I'm not even going to say rant. I had that download about how someone needs to forgive themselves. How is your person feeling about themselves? Like they've wronged people, like they've been unfair, they've blamed people unfairly for their own things, that they lack taking accountability. And they could be having a really hard time forgiving themselves right now. This person could have had a really hard time taking accountability. Again, if you watch your two parents never take accountability, how are they feeling about you? Makes sense? Yeah. 5 of Cups, 10 of Cups. They see you as remember the 10 of Swords looking out into their future at the 10 of Cups. They see you as their 10 of Cups, as their happily ever after. Future, remember future commitment? For how they feel about you, regret and sadness and remorse. 5 of Cups. Sorry, sometimes I forget to say the names. I also like to teach you guys tarot. That's why I try and always say what the card is and I try and explain what it means. 5 of Cups. Very upset about this and what they did to you. We have the 2 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands coming out. So this person could have neglected you. They could have been very inconsistent with you. They could have blamed you unfairly with the Justice card in reverse. But this is someone who's in their feelings, sitting on the fence thinking about messaging you, but they go back and forth. Should I take action? Should I? Should I take action? Should I? And that shows they're not ready to. Because Ace of Wands, when they know it's the right time, they'll be inspired to pick up that phone. Right now, they go back and forth. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Right? I'm sure you can, like if you're a chaser, I'm sure, or you were a chaser, I'm sure you had times where you were feeling sad and you fought with that internal, should I reach out? Shouldn't I? Should I reach out? Shouldn't I? Think about that stupid term. If they wanted to, they would. How many chasers want to, but we're told we shouldn't? Like, if you want to talk to this person, like think about that. If they wanted to, they would. What about all of us who want to, but are trying to hold up our boundaries and things like that? So if that doesn't apply to you, why are we making it apply to the other person? Do you know what I mean? Because that's not true for a lot of people who watch my readings. They would love to talk to their person. So how can you believe if they wanted to, they would? You want to and you don't. You know what I mean? I'm not putting you down for not reaching out. That's not what that is about. I don't know what's happening on your... Once I got into your person's energy, I got very, like, passionate. Anyway. I want to see what their current intentions are. But I feel like this person needs some time. So they want to work on themselves. They want to work on themselves. So we have the King of Wands and Death. So their intentions are to go through a transformation and evolve, possibly out of the Knight of Wands into this King of Wands. Look at the similarities. I'm obsessed with this deck. Look at the similarities. They want to transform out of that Knight of Wands. Actually, that reminds me, on the bottom of the deck with this one, we had the Knight of Wands for how they feel about themselves. So I feel like they know they were inconsistent. They know they were hot-tempered. They know they were hot and cold. So they want to transform into this King of Wands and then take bold action towards you. But right now, they're not in that bold, confident energy yet. Maybe even they want to transform some of their own self-absorbed behavior and acting from a place of ego. Or their selfishness, or whatever. So I'm going to look at actions, but like I'm not putting a timing on it because this person needs some time. And divine feminine lesson, wounded feminine energy obsesses about the timing it's taking. Okay? All right. The song Sorry by Justin Bieber could be symbolic. Isn't that the song that talks about I'm missing more than your body? All right. What action are they going to take to you in the future? No time. They can take their time. Take Your Time by Humbear. I know, if you know what that song is, I'm impressed because, well, I don't really know a lot of people, but I don't know anybody who knows what that song is, but I don't know a lot of people. But Take Your Time by Humbear. That's the song I'm hearing right now. Might be worth listening to. Write it down so you don't forget. Or if you're multi-talented, you could probably just listen to this if you have premium and go look it up right now. Take Your Time by Humbear. We do have Page of Swords here, which is about the start of a conversation. 11 weeks. I know I wasn't going to give timing, but I just heard 11 weeks. We do have the Ace of Cups, which is an offer of love. I love this guy. Look at him. I feel like that's very symbolic about how your person is going to feel when they come in. They're going to be like, ooh. Like, look at that. When they hit send or when they come towards you, they're going to be... the Chariot. There we go. The Chariot. So once they're more in alignment, that's when they'll come towards you. I heard 11 weeks. Again, if you're like, 11 weeks is forever, it's really not. And that's a bit of that wounded feminine energy. So don't despair. What do you need to focus on? What do you need to focus on? Focus on your masculine energy. Interesting. So knowing your worth. You know what? The wounded masculine worries about time too, I believe. Focus on your empire, building an empire, taking action towards things you can take action towards, not this person. Maybe your life mission, just saying. Raising your standards. Remember what I was saying about what you accept is what you're telling the universe you deserve. So high standards. Don't get caught in your head, I'm hearing. King of Swords. 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. You're wounded and weary from battle, but you persevere with hope and determination. This is not an easy connection because it's meant to be one that helps you self-improve. So what is the advice of the King of Swords? Let me see. King of Swords. Discipline, high standards for love. And this is interesting because you know how I went on and on and on my soapbox? I'm wondering if some of the people who are watching this have very like black and white thinking about trauma and avoidance and things like that. Because the King of Swords tells us not to be too rigid or make decisions based on assumptions. Inform yourself as much as possible before jumping to any conclusions. I just pushed some information on you. Anyway, that's your advice from the King of Swords. That's interesting. So don't be too rigid in your black and white thinking, I'm hearing. 9 of Wands. Courageously stand firm in who you are, protect your boundaries and what you have built. Stay true to yourself and practice the word no. And it's about persistence, resilience, perseverance, close to success. So don't give up is what I'm hearing, okay? Now I'm just going to get a couple channeled messages from your person. Couple channeled messages from your person. I don't know if my readings will be as long when I'm away, but we'll see. I did do a round of general love readings for zodiac signs, which will be posted next week while I'm away. All right. So Saturday is when I'll be posting my last reading, and then I'll start posting the ones that I've got together for you. I'm tired of running from this connection. And if you don't understand how energy works, if you're worried that they won't resonate just because I filmed them ahead of time, that's timeless messages. I can remember so many of you saying last year when I was away and I was posting the ones I had filmed before, you were like, you filmed this 4 weeks ago. How is this resonating right now? I'm tired of running from this connection. I miss you so much and need you by my side. No more running. Love is a lesson that is worth learning for you. 10 of Swords, they're learning some lessons. Okay, divine timing. What does this person want to say to you? This person definitely watches you. And they're still lacking confidence. Our sexual chemistry is off the hook. I mentioned the movie Hook. When we are intimate, it feels like I am high. Yep. I ask myself if I am who you truly deserve. You deserve the world and more. Up on a pedestal, I told you. Do you feel our energies? Do you feel when our energies merge as one? I feel crazy in love with you. It is like twin flame connections energetically. They feel like nothing else. I've never felt a connection this intense before. Honestly, it was love at first sight, and the rest is history. And it's not even at first sight. Like, it's not that you're falling in love with them at first sight and their physical appearance. It's an instant soul recognition. It's the weirdest thing, and you can't describe it to someone who hasn't experienced it. You can't. Like for me, all I saw was a little, you know, on social media, how we have little circular bubbles. That's all it was a little circular bubble, and it was like instant soul recognition. I am studying you and trying to find out as much as I can about you and your family. I watch you on social media. We know that. Like, how many times does that come out? What does this person want to say to you? Just a couple more. What does this person want to say to you? Okay. I am working on myself so we can come into union. I need you to trust me right now. Not that you can read it, but I like to show it. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, grow old with you, have a family with you, and live our last days out together as one, envisioning a future. I am tired of fighting this connection. The chemistry between us is unreal, and I am like a moth to a flame when it comes to you. Truth. Words could never express how much love, appreciation, and respect that I have for you. They think very highly of you. I'm not surprised. You're amazing. I have abandonment issues and have been let down by every single person I've allowed to get close to me. All right, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to take my soapbox and go have a nap. No, I'm going to go film another reading for when I'm away. But I love you guys so much, and I'm going to miss you. I'm going to soak up my last few days with you, and I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.